Thanks, Gabby. Well, we're here today in the fortress that is Corsham Wreck for a bruising box office bonanza of ball play. Bences Lane Bastards welcome Pasty United on match day 7. The gloves are off, the engines are revving up, and the table is set for a feast of football before the mid-season break. The home fans are in full festive swing, and Merry doesn't tell the half of it.
Too right, the gloves are off, and I've certainly got a full tank of fuel to see me through. Been down the Oak with the Bastards' main man, Darren Chipley, and I must say he's been an extremely hospitable host today, Flano.
Well, he's got a hell of a reputation in the papers, and the fans love his straight talking and the saucy tales in the tabloids. His latest escapade involved an after-hours romp in the local cost-cutter storeroom with some rather big busted beauties by the looks of the photos in the Darren Chipley pull-out section in the Gazette and Herald.
Well, he's a man that welcomes controversy, and he invites it in for a few pints and a threesome. I heard the full story this morning from the horse's mouth, and he ain't losing any sleep over it coming out in the press. Those rags, they'll be on their way to Turner's right now to wrap up tonight's fish and chips. I like Chipley, he don't mind who he upsets, and I for one like someone who says a spade is a spade. And he'll be the first to look me in the eye and he'll say, "Fred, you are looking at a spade." And you know what? I believe him too.
Well, wouldn't we all, Fred? I must say it's great to have you back here alongside me after the enforced absence last week. You were saying that your week off was spent away from the hustle and bustle of the big city.
Yeah, that's right, Mark. Lamb sent me to a silent retreat just outside Melksham. She said I need a break from the bloody meteor circus cooked up by that Chancellor Millward. My first time down one of those things, I'm not sure what the point is. I just sat there doing nothing, wondering why I'm not down the barbers. To be fair, the trip ended up the same way as most of my work in the salon, being cut extremely short. I don't need any of that nonsense, just a decent set of clippers and some of the torque too as I work my magic.
And what magic it is, Fred. Took me a while to get into spirituality, but my gurus worked wonders. I can go for days without having to see another soul in perfect happiness. Sometimes I think it would be nice to get a call, but it gives me real time to focus on each game, and, well, what a game we have today.
I tell you what, Flano, I'm very excited by this one. It's been in my crosshairs for a while. I spent a lot of this season staring at that rabble box Badgers, and I'm thankful that today there's a bit more class on show. There are some real players out there, guided by 2 top-rated managers that are respected by everyone in the game.
It's Bences Lane Bastards looking to continue their impressive run of 6 league wins in a row. There's talk of a clean sweep in the league this year, mainly coming from the mealy-mouthed Darren Chipley. He'll be going for broke again today with his team selection of 1-1-3 and will want more of the same from his players.
Well, if anyone's going to do it, it'll be Chipley. He's got what you need in a league-winning squad: character. You can't be dicking around with subpar strikers or prima donna, defender, come captain, come owners. Character's what legendary teams are all made for. This team has the power to make another statement today.
And that statement begins with a Scotsman by the name of Derek Sims. He's spoken at great length about his devout commitment to Chipley, and some have likened their relationship to master and slave, but Sims is a self-professed Chipley disciple.
Well, Sims wouldn't have been anyone's first pick, but the keeper's a different operator since that pre-season boot camp, and look at him now, all muscle and that monster mentality. He's a far cry from the man who they signed at the draft.
Another standout performer this season in front of Sims, the commanding Chris Hendry, has been handling opposition attacks like a kindergarten PE teacher in a schoolyard kick-around.
Yes, Hendry is another one who's been dominant at the back, and he's weighed in with some important goals this season. He's been a real find for Chipley, who's rightly taken all the praise down the pub.
The midfield brings us to the starriest of bastards, club captain Ryan Bush. A once-in-a-generation footballer who's been showing everybody just what he can do at the heart of the midfield and has been the driving force in the team's unparalleled success this year.
Well, what can I say? Women love him, and men want to be him. And men love him, and women want to be him. And kids, well, they want him to be their dad, and let me just say, barbers, they just want to get their hands on his hair. And I'm the first in the queue, and I'll say it publicly now. Ryan Powell, if you need a cut, you can call me at the shop. It's 01249 714 690, and it would be an honour to work with you.
Well, that bastard solid base is topped off with 3 premium attackers. Matthew D. White, Deacon and Gingell have led from the front from day one, and the pressure they put on defences has been literally crippling at times.
To right, Flano, Chipley's second favourite threesome, have been unstoppable. Deacon on the left, cutting inside onto his heavily favoured right foot, and well, bigger boy Gingell has been a revelation on the right hand side. White's just been piling on the goals too, so the whole machine is just purring away. The only real flaw I've noticed is there's a slight lack of variation. Bush really is the only one in that team who can control his locks without gel. Everyone else is just no nonsense, short back and sides, very much in the image of their manager. And Chipley, he ain't interested in any bollocks with long hair. He's made an exception for Bush, but I think we'd all agree that that man can do whatever he wants.
Well, on to this week's contenders, Pasty United, and their main man, the clean-cut and well-groomed Matt Page, has been in the press himself this week. He set up the Pasty Foundation, giving out grants to disadvantaged school children to build careers in the catering industry. A statement from Page read, "If it means these kids can see a pasty-shaped future, then that's absolutely fine. They'll have what I call Cornish hope, and I'll sleep at night knowing I've made a difference."
Well, sounds like a bloody puff piece to me, but what can I say? He is another good guy and does a lot of good work around the local area. That campaign for school meals to include more pastry, give quiche a chance, worked wonders. Page is a true statesman of the game, and he's not like that fucking maniac down in box, is he? That totalitarian tosser with nothing but tits between his ears.
Well, some strong words there, Fred, which I must say don't reflect the views of the broadcaster or the league at large. So anyway, on to the teams. Page has opted for a 1-3-1 formation, and first up in goal it's the doe-eyed and bushy-tailed Colin Larrigan, ready to spring into action.
Well, Larrigan's been a safe pair of hands, and I for one am looking forward to see how he'll deal with the inevitable onslaught from the bastards today. He'll need to put in a decent showing, that's for true.
Heading into combat with the most ferocious front three in the league is the league's standout defender, the peerless Daniel Blunsdon. He looked daddy cool in the warm-ups and expected to show some dominance today.
Well, you know I don't like cliches, but they're there for a reason. And this guy, well, he is a Rolls Royce of a defender. This will be a real test of his mettle, but he ain't no dummy. If he can keep those attackers at bay, then United have got half a chance.
A packed midfield with Captain Rich Robb, Lee Kramer and Tommy Laver. Page will be hoping his trio will snuffle out Bush and that Blunsdon can keep out the aerial threat. And with Robb and Laver there could be some flowing attacks too.
Well, Flano, this is going to be a huge area of the pitch today. Robb is going to be snapping at Bush's heels all day long and looking to play Laver in whenever he can. And well, if Kramer can lend a hand, that'll be a bonus. I love Laver and I love Robb and I love their connection. They've got a match-winning spark between them, and well, Robb's a great foil and he'll be using all those tricks that he's got up his sleeves today.
Well, it's ladies' man and man's lady, Chris Fear up top. He'll be prodding and poking Hendry and getting his mental probe out for Sims to see if he's really changed into the warrior that he says he is.
That's right, Fear's just the man for some psychological warfare. If there is a way through Sims's mental wall, Fear will penetrate him. Fear's always asking questions. He has that unique approach to the contest and to his Barnet. With him, Laver and Robb ploughing their furrows, it should be a hell of a spectacle. Mark my words, this ain't no friendly. This'll be war today.
You're right, Fred. Bences laying the top of the league by quite some distance, but it's still all to play for because Pasty United are no pushovers. It's the bastards' all-out attack against the hard-crusted pastry midfield. This one's on a knife edge, and it'll be fine margins that settle this tie, you'd think. Well, the teams are out and there's been some antics in the tunnel between Fear and Sims already. Word is that Fear wedgied Sims and then blew him a kiss before Hendry instigated a fracas in which Colin Larrigan ended up winded and crumpled on his knees like an old whoopee cushion. Today's referee, Tony Threlfall, has reportedly handled it badly, and this much maligned ref will hope to God that he can keep a lid on things.
Well, you said it, Flano. Could be fine margins today, and well, the one man you don't want out there with a whistle in his hand is out there with a whistle in his hand. I have to say, it's a real shame that Tony Threlfall has been selected to cover this game. I've been hoping he'd get lost on the way, but he was at the ground warming up before Shipley had got the first round in at the Oak. I'm just hoping he can let the game flow, but I reckon it could get nasty and he won't have the bollocks to keep a hold on it.
I'm with you, Fred. Let's hope Threlfall's not making the headlines tomorrow morning. The last thing anyone wants is to think about Tony Threlfall. Well, the players are ready and Tony's given it the toot, so we're underway and let the battle commence. And that's a hefty challenge from Hendry on Fear. It's threatening to bubble over already, but play goes on. The ball's out to the left-hand side towards Deacon, but there's Blunden gliding across and sweeps up the danger. Look at that. Blunsden now with his head up, and he finds Rob, and that's on to Laver in centre field. Laver now takes a touch, and he's ahead of Bush, and Bush is making up ground, but Laver there gets the ball onto Fear, who's outside the box, and Fear now beats Hendry, and it's a snap shot, and Fear hits the post, and that's Sims beaten at the near post, out for a goal kick though, and Sims is fuming as he fetches the ball.
Well, that's a nice move from United. Laver managed to craft a bit of room, and well, Fear got the better of Hendry there, didn't he? It's already getting tasty, but Fear's let his feet do the torquing and only the post has shut him up.
Yes, and a nice pasty attack set in motion by Blunsden, and Laver will certainly want more service like that today.
Well, it's been a hectic first 20 minutes. I don't know if it's because you don't see the fouls, but Threlfall's certainly been letting a few challenges go.
Well, he sure has, Fred, and Bush has it now. Most good bastard things have come from him today, and luscious touch there, and he's worked the ball through a packed midfield towards Deacon, who's in space down the left hand side. Deacon now pushes on towards the byline, but Kramer's with him just about. Deacon now sees Bush on the edge of the area, but he whips the right-footed ball onto the back post. It's Gingell connecting with that, but batters the ball, and Larrigan just got in the way of that shot from a tight angle.
Strong save from Larrigan there. Blunsden clears it away to safety, and that's excellent reflexes from the keeper. That's a strong hand, and I think he's got a bit of his face behind it too, and he's looking a bit shell-shocked, blinking like a rabbit in the headlights.
Yes, Fred, well, he's blinking and blinking like he's taken a full-on straight arm at kick-out time, and he's leaning against his post, and well, Rob and Laver are having a joke with him. Rob's holding up 3 fingers and asking the question, and Laver's thrown water in his face to wake him up, and that seems to have done the trick actually, and Larrigan's nodding and he's giving a thumbs up.
Yeah, you'll be fine, son. Chin up, on we go.
Well, the Bastards are getting into their flow now, and Bush is weaseling his way around nicely, and he's in space again. He plays the ball up to White, who's got Blunsden for company, and White flicks one round to the corner to Gingell, and that's nice work from Gingell to pass Rob, who's livid, but he races after the big man. Gingell now, back to Bush, and that's nicely worked back to Gingell again, and he takes a touch there. That is a nasty one from Rob there, through the back of Gingell.
Well, that is an old school hack right there from Rob. He's tried to get the right side of Gingell, but he's failed miserably, and well, Threlfall's seen that one.
Well, Rob's looking sheepish, and Threlfall's approaching, and he reaches for his pocket, but well, no, and well, looks like Threlfall can't find his cards, and he styled out the pocket check, and is now telling Rob that, well, the next one will be a yellow. Well, what a let-off for Rob that was.
And Rob's playing this one to a T. He's all smiles, isn't he? He's got his arm around Threlfall's shoulder. Cute stuff from the maestro as he taps Threlfall playfully on the buttocks before the obligatory eye roll and wanker sign to the crowd, who roar their approval.
Well, United aren't out of the woods yet, and Bush has placed the ball down, and well, there's only a one-man wall there, and it's Laver, who's not really the most imposing of walls, and well, the ball's about 25 yards out from the byline on the right-hand side. It should be a cross, and well, Gingell and Hendry are in there, so Bush stands over it now, and he whips the ball into the near post, and that's flicked header from Hendry, but just over the bar.
Nice head from Hendry there, only a few inches lower, and that could have been another notch on his bedpost. He's got so much power in the air, and Bush just knows where his men are as well. It's a quality delivery from that bastard captain. Chipley's lively on the touchline. That double body Red Bull is certainly doing the trick, and he's liking everything he's seeing right now. And Hendry is lining up the goal kick here and just rolls that a few inches for Sims, and then Sims just returns the favour, so the ball's with Hendry again, and Fear is eyeballing Sims from the 18-yard line, disdainfully grabbing his family jewels, and well, Fear's not particularly interested in pressurising Hendry, so the ball finds its way to Bush, who's got Kramer for company, and Kramer's now approaching Bush, and well, Bush just straight past Kramer without much discomfort at all. Yeah, that's too easy for Bush. Mind you, he makes it look easy whatever he does. So the ball's now with Deacon, who again cuts in off the left-hand side, and he plays a looping switch to Gingell, and Gingell takes that down, and well, where are the Pasty midfield, I may ask, and Rob's making his presence felt with Gingell, but that's a pull of the shirt there, and Gingell shrugs him off though, and he looks inside, and Bush is there. Bush now driving on, and Blunsdon committing, and Bush has slipped the ball to White. White in on goal now, rounds Larrigan, makes sure of the finish. Blunsdon didn't cope with the numbers there, and it's 1-0 Bences Lane here at the Rec. Well, they certainly had numbers there, all right, but you've still got to find your man, and you've still got to make the finish. And that was a cool pass from Bush. He just waited, and White's there, and that's bam. How's your father? He's 1-0 up, thanks for asking. Well, it had been building for a while now, and the Bastards have their reward. Blunsdon is balling out his midfield. He's got high standards, and United needed to keep compact, but they were a little loosey-goosey, and they've been punished. Loosey-goosey's the word there, Flano. Expertly done, and when you're top of the league, those chances just end up in the back of the net. The home crowd, they're loving it, and Shipley's fluffing them up good and proper. White's ecstatic, and so he should be. It's going to be a tough few minutes for the Pasties until the half-time whistle, you'd think. Well, the half-time whistle goes, and it's 1-0 to the home team. Matthew D. White's cool finish capped a fine team move, but Pasty United have got to the end of the half still in touch. They've been solid on the whole, and the shape's been good in spite of the largely one-way traffic. Well, Pace will need to change something if he wants to get his team on the front foot out there. Laver and Rob, they're deep in conversation as they leave the field, and Fear is just chuntering away to Sims and Hendry, and well, I say, all's fair in love and war, and well, look at Sims. He hasn't been troubled much this half, so he's taking it in good spirit. Yes, and Threlfall is headed down the tunnel with his car keys in his hands. Off to fetch his cards, no doubt. Well, he's hoping nobody's noticed, but I hate to say it, Tony, somebody's noticed, and that somebody is the home crowd, the away crowd, and all of us here in the press box. Yes, you shuffle off to your Skoda and rummage around in the boot. Why, you think nobody's watching, but we all know you're an amateur, T-Bone. Well, the teams are back out, and Threlfall is looking energised. He's got his whistle, and he's brought the captains together to have a quick word, and Rob's joking around, but Threlfall's getting rather agitated, and he's pointing to his pocket and wagging his finger at Rob. Well, I wonder what Bush is thinking about this show from Threlfall. Legend like Bushy don't deserve this. He's a quality bloke, and having to share the same pitch as Tony the Phony Threlfall must be an embarrassment to the man. Well, let's hope Tony's got it out of his system, and D. White gets things underway, and we're back to the action. It's just not on to bar someone from your ground. Even if you don't like what they're saying about you, you don't put your fingers in your ears and rewrite history. Yeah, don't sweat it, Fred. You'll be back there next time, I'm sure of it. And, well, we're here now, so let's enjoy this, yeah? I am enjoying it. I bloody love the game. You know that, Mark. It's what I live for. I say what I see. And that Badger's bellend, well, he just can't handle the truth. Yeah, well, impassioned words from my co-host Fred from Bernie's there, ladies and gentlemen. But let's try and get back to the game. It's been a feisty start to the second half. Too right, Flano. Been nastier than an old bird snatch, if you ask me. It's been grisly, all right. Yes, and there's another tough challenge by Bush, but it's fair, and Threlfall gives it the nod, and the ball finds its way to Deacon on the left-hand side. Deacon now has the ball, and Kramer's backpedaling, and Deacon twists and turns, and well, Kramer's on his backside, and Deacon's on the move, but he's picking up the pace and he's into the air and he punts the ball to the bottom corner, but it's back off the post and out again. So unlucky from Deacon. Well, they know what he's going to do, but they just can't stop him. That's his quality. An engine like that, and he just glides along the turf like a hovercraft or an ostrich in the jungle. Deserved a goal, but the ball came back out and Blunson's there again to remove the danger. The Bastards have really had some chances today. Yes, Flano. Will they live to regret these misses? Only time will tell, and we can't avoid that. It's going to happen, and if you don't like it, you're in the wrong game, my friend. Well, it's a free kick about 22 yards out, and Laver stands over it, but Rob's there as well, and he's giving Laver some advice. Well, the wall is in place, and Sims is just nudging it into its final position, and well, what's that? Fear is an extra man in the wall. Chris Fear's an extra man in the wall. He's mooning Sims, and he's using his cheeks as a visual aid to the obvious goading that he's dishing out. My goodness. Well, that is a low point for the striker there. What is he thinking? And Tony don't like it either, and he's headed over to Fear, whose shorts are back up now, but it won't help him. Yeah, and that's the first yellow of the game there to Fear, and well, Threlfall's looking pretty pleased with himself as he walks away. Well, Fear's still in the wall, and he's waggling a middle finger behind his back at Sims, but Threlfall's in ignorant bliss, and Laver's there now on the ball, and he's liking the look of it now. Laver runs up and he leaves it for Rob, who then flicks the ball towards Laver, and that's a looping volley onto the roof of the net though. Sims was baffled, he was rooted to the spot. Oh, nice routine, no doubt a training ground move cooked up by Pace and his star player. He's a wily one, that Laver, and with Rob and Fear in the dressing room, there'll be plenty of stuff like that going on all week. Well, Sims is looking rather edgy, but the game goes on as Hendry places the ball for a goal kick. Well, Larrigan has the ball and he looks up and he hits the ball skywards out to the far side where Rob is out-jumped by Gingell, who's made his way back with the Pasty captain there, and he's won that header easily. The ball now back in the air and falls inside the United half where Blunson reads the bounce. He flicks the ball over Bush's head and ploughs on. Blunson takes the ball down onto his chest, continues at a pace that he's opened up his body, and Blunston hammers that one in. Nothing Sims could do about that. The ball flew into the left-hand corner, didn't move in the air. You could read the maker's name as it went in. Well, what an absolute thunder bastard. He's hit that from 30 yards, sweet as a cunt. Pure and true and straight as an arrow. Blunson's there and he takes in the crowd for a moment, but then he just heads back to the United half. Nods over to Pace on the touchline as if to say, you see this every day, boss. Well, Pace is shaking his fist and he's squeezing that beard in delight. A goal out of nothing really, just the class of Blunsdon. It really stayed hit, and it's 1-1 here. The home crowd aren't used to this at all, but there's nothing they can do. Sims is stunned too. Is that a tear in his eye? It's been against the run of play, but with a player like Blunsdon in your team, you've always got a chance, and Fear is giving Sims some verbals. Hendry's not having it, but Rob's grabbed Fear and dragging him back to the centre circle, but they're both loving every minute of it. Well, it's all Bastards right now, and they've been rattled, but they're coming out swinging. Attack is all they know, and have the Pasties angered the beast? Yes, Bushy has got the bit between his teeth, and he's pulling all the strings good and proper. And Chipley's ripped off his shirt on the touchline, and the crowd are baying for blood. Milky owed Pasty blood. Well, it's Hendry who has it now, and he holds the ball looking for Bush, but the pass isn't on. Laver's cutting off that route well, but the ball comes out to the right-hand side to Gingell inside his own half, and Gingell now, but there's nothing really on. But he's got Rob there, and oh, he's nudged the ball through Rob's legs there. Rob's unhappy about that, and he swivels to begin chasing Gingell down. He's shaking his fists in fury, but Gingell's far too quick, and he's away down the right-hand side. Kramer's too far out, so Blunson's coming across, and he's forced Gingell down the line. Oh, where are you going now, Sonny? Gingell now heads to the touchline. He looks to find White in the... Oh, no, and he's faked the cross. He's along the byline, approaches the 6-yard line, fires the ball off Clarigan's legs into the goal. such a tight angle. He's actually used Larrigan's right boot as a wall to get it into the back of the net. It's 2-1 and the Bastards are back in front. Yes, Flano, and that's a wonderful goal from Gingell there. He's looked up and he's seen white, but he's backed himself. He's gone for glory and it's come off. Somehow working the ball in from the tightest of angles. Great solo run from Gingell, who's been very, very good today. And he's managed to get the better of Blunsdon before making it count against Colin Last Man Larrigan. Well, Shipley's in the crowd and they've lifted him up and they chant his name. He's punching the air and roaring away, all teeth and passion. The fans are loving it and the Bastards are ahead again. Well, Flano, United had a taste of it, but the Bastards have responded quickly and they've taken the lead again. Pace looks calm down there and Rob's got his team in the huddle. They'll have to regroup and shape up quickly or they might lose sight of the own team. Well, the Bastards are cruising, but it's a one-goal game and Bush has been dictating the play in the middle of the park and Laver's getting annoyed. He's lashed out a couple of times, but Threlfall's not been alert to those challenges. Well, Tony looks half asleep and the other half ain't much better the way he's reffing this. Surprised there aren't any broken bones out there. Oh, and that's another hefty challenge from Hendry, this time on Fear, who's down, but Hendry has the ball and he offloads to Bush in the usual way. Bush now rolls the ball out of his feet and sweeps that beautiful hair away from his delicate forehead. Deacon's made a move there and he's in behind Craver and Bush just caresses the ball out to the left-hand side. And Deacon now controls it with his right foot and he shoots and that's just wide from Deacon, who had a little more time despite Blunsdon putting a little pressure on. He had more time there, could have got close to goal before unleashing that one. He needs to get Larrigan to work a bit too, and White's been lethal in and around the box and he was following in. Deacon's been threatening all game but just can't fashion the finish. The Bastards need a bit more composure if they're to extend their lead. It's one-way traffic and Chipley will want the screw turned and the point secured long before the final whistle blows. Well, Laver has it now and he's got the better of Bush and he's dribbling the ball into the Bastards' half. Does a little step over. Oh, cutesy little jink too, and he's in a bit of space there. Space to run. He's running on. Running again. Still running on. Driving into the half, and he's got the ball at his feet and thinking, well, why not? And he takes it on and blasts the ball into the top corner. And Sims makes the save of the game. Fingertip stuff from the keeper, and the ball's out off the post for a corner. Well, that is a fabulous save from Sims. Laver's got his head in his hands there. He thought for all the world that was in, and Sims is pointing in Fear's direction. He ain't holding back, and Fear's ready though, and he licks his middle finger and he shows it fully to the Scotsman. There's tasty stuff out there. It's a bloody war between the two of them. Well, it's Rob out on the left-hand side. He's gonna try and curl one in there. Fear's right in the eye of the storm, and he's heading right back towards Sims. Rob now stands and he swings one over into the mixer and Sims is up but he misjudges it and it's Laver at the back post. Laver, Tommy Laver, it's Tommy Laver at the back post. Heads the ball into the back of the net and the Bastards team are surrounding Threlfall. They're saying foul play has occurred. Well, Threlfall's looking unmoved there and he's given it. For me, Fear has done a great job distracting Sims there. Looks like, yes, he's actually tickled Sims just as the ball comes over, and Sims had this mixture of agony and joy on his face as the ball just dropped past him and Laver was there to pounce on the loose ball. And what a scene! Threlfall is waving away the home team. He's blowing on his whistle and running back to the centre circle. It's 2-2 here and there could be a riot at any minute. All it would take is a flick of the eyebrow from Chipley and we'd have a bloodbath. Well, Darren's looking very calm on the sideline. He knows that he could quite easily let Threlfall be ripped apart by the own fans, but that won't play well with the governing body. Very disciplined from Chipley. I'd be unleashing the hounds right now if I were him. Well, Pasty United are back and level and Pace can't believe his luck. Gamesmanship from Fear has led to an equaliser late in the game, but can United hang on? Well, it's wave after wave here, and there's a minute of the allotted time to play, and Shipley's willing his team on. The shirt stayed off, but he's got the tie back on. He's halfway down a bottle of Smirnoff in the technical area, and his bastards are doing everything they can on the pitch. Yes, Flano, it's reaching boiling point out here, and United are creaking. Well, it's Gingell again down the right-hand side, and he tries to whip the ball, but Rob's there for company, and he's gotten in the way of that one, and that's out for a corner. One last throw of the dice, and Bush is on his way to the near side to whip a ball in. It's now or never, and Bushy's the go-to guy. He's placed the ball on the floor, and he's just, look at that, he's just joking with the linesman. So cool under pressure. Well, even Sims is up for the corner, and that's on Chipley's orders. They're flooding the box. And Bush now runs up to the ball and comes in, and there's a scramble. Larrigan saves, but White punches the ball into the net on the rebound. He wheels away in celebration. Larrigan's on his knees, but what? Threlfall has blown up. He's making a fist, and he's saying that he saw a hand there. He's ruling the goal out for a handball, and the Bastards players are going mad here. Well, I don't like to say it, but White has punched the ball in, and that is the right decision from Threlfall, who ain't got much credit in the bank with the own team. And the Bastards are livid, but White's used his hand there. Deliberate handball, and for me, he's got to go. Well, Threlfall is blowing his whistle and signalling for the free kick. The Bastards players surround him, shouting, and Henry's on the verge of tears, but Threlfall is just blowing and blowing and blowing. And now he's got his fingers in his ears too, as if to say, I'm not listening, I'm not listening, I'm not listening to any of you. White's pleading and pleading mercy from the referee too, and yes, it's a yellow card for White from Threlfall, and you could say White's a lucky boy there. Well, he's charmed, I'll say. Lucky that the man in black is so rattled by his surrounding, and Tony's scared and he just wants to get off the pitch ASAFP. Certainly does, and he stopped blowing his whistle finally, and Larrigan shapes up and goes to take the free kick. No, actually it's Blunsdon to take it, and Blunsdon approaches and wallops that upfield, and there it is. Threlfall has blown his whistle for the last time today, and he's on the ground. He's actually swallowed his whistle, I think. The poor man's on his knees and choking, and Rob's seen it, and he's taking a chance here. He's kicked Threlfall up the arse, and the whistle's flown out of Threlfall's mouth. Well, Rob's seen the opportunity there, and he's grabbed it with both barrels. He's booted Tony clean in the air, but it's done the trick, and Tony can't complain. Rob will say, I saved your life, Tony, and you better not forget that. And the crowd really enjoyed that, and I'd be telling Porkies if I didn't as well. After a feast of football in the second half, Tony gets his just desserts. And Tony's looking shocked, but he wheezes in relief with the whistle dangling around his neck. Final score here at the Rec is 2-2, and what a second half that was. The Bastards were pegged back twice by a Pasty United outfit who never said die, despite being on the ropes for long periods. Yes, Flano, Blunsdon got them out of hot water on a few occasions, and he's my man of the match with some key clearances and a raging thunder bastard of a strike to get United back in the game and give them some belief. You have to say that the Bastards' finishing today wasn't as clinical as Chipley would like. He's been out there consoling his players, and they look like they've just lost the cup, but they're still unbeaten and they'll go again. Yes, Fred, Chipley's out there, shirtless but not tieless, telling the guys to get their collective chins up and thank the fans who've been willing their team on all game. And that's nice. He's doing shots with all the fans who've stuck around to applaud their team. What a class act, and that looks like a nice vintage bottle of Sambuca he's passing round, and he's even had a shot with Page too, who's taken that measure like a man. And Page has gone to get his team together, and they've done well today. They've used all the tricks in the book, and Rob and Fear have stretched the limits against what has to be said a poor use of organic matter in the shape of Tony Threlfall. Big result for Pace's Pasty United. They were under the cosh for heavy periods, but weathered the storm and rode their luck. Snatched a goal at the death to be the first team to take points off the Bastards in the league this season. Both teams head into the mid-season break with plenty to play for in the second half of the season. Too right, Flano. The Bastards are still well clear, and the break will be a chance to refresh and see if any offers come on the table for them to strengthen the squad. And there's a small matter of the Royal Rumble, which I, for one, am looking forward to no end. Well, the first half of the CCSFF has been full of highlights and controversy, and the break will no doubt be a chance to recharge some batteries, batter some retards, and tweak the team sheets. The second half of the season promises much, much more from the greatest league in the world. Too right, Flano. I cannot wait for what's to come. The Rumble, the transfer window, and the second half of the season. Who knows what will happen? I sure as hell don't. It's goodbye from me in the commentary box, and I'd like to thank Fred. Pleasure as always. Well, I'm off for a few rounds with chippers. It's back to you in the studio, Gabby. Ta-da!